I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. You're the only one I care enough to hurt about. Maybe I'm a crazy, but I just can't live without your loving and affection, giving me direction, like a guiding light to help me through my darkest hour. Lately I'm a praying that you'll always be a staying beside me. Used to be my life was just emotions passing by, feeling all the while I never really knowing why. Lately I'm a praying that you'll always be a staying beside me. Used to be my life was just emotions passing by. Then you came along and made me laugh and made me cry. You taught me why. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you. Oh, it took so long to find you, baby. Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you.
Sesi kadar.
Yeah, real good.
Get out of here.
So Bridgestone said just bring 3 tires.
the first half, back in there, back in for the board. In the first half, back in there, back in for the board. Big time screen, Beverly down. Big time. In the first half, back in there, back in for the board. Big time screen, Beverly down. Adams Robinson, Robertson with a three. Now just gave the thumbs up. Now he says he's okay. He just got rocked by Steven Adams. I mean, this is a shot. He just picked up his second. Watch this. Oh. And this has to make J.J. Watt proud. I mean, this is a J.J. Watt shot. And this has to make J.J. Watt. He just picked up his second. Watch this. Oh. And this has to make J.J. Watt proud. I mean, this is a J.J. Watt shot right here who's sitting in the front row here. J.J. Watt. That was like net hit. Woo-wee.
And Mo Harkless. And Westbrook lost the handle. This is the screen that they're talking about here. He just dropped Lillard. I mean, he dropped him.
I think he asked him, do you like the Aquaman movie? He said, yeah, I like the Aquaman movie.
I'm with you.
I starred in it.
He looks like Jason Momoa.
Exactly like him.
Westbrook the other way, open floor. This is where he's at his best. Kicks it to the corner this time. Morrow can't make the shot. Adams in a battle underneath with Cantor. This is where he's at his best. Kicks it to the corner this time.
Still cutting.
That's it. And we don't know who's basketball. Oh, Ferguson might have gotten knocked out there.
Comes in, strong with the ball, elbows Carter. Ibaka no, Carter elbows back. And there's the Carter elbow, certainly in retaliation.
Dave, back to you.
Well, they've been off since Monday. The Thunder playing the second game of a back-to-back as we have Adams and Sacre getting into it.
Adams so good at setting screens, but there's nothing there. Actually,
that motherfucker is strong. Like, I'm serious. He hit me with one screen today, and I thought my life was over. He's like from Krypton or something. Seriously, he's strong. Like, all right, I'm gonna call him in here and let him set a screen on you. Yeah. It's bad, dude. I'm trying to tell you. All right, that's it.
Yeah, real good.
Get out of here.
We know what it means as a team, but what about individually for you?
Just got one more than Shaq. So you can take that to the bank. You know how I am. You guys know how I am. I don't forget anything.
We know.
Time won't let me keep these sad thoughts to myself. I'd just like to let you know I wish I'd never let you go. And I'll always love you. Deep inside this heart of mine, I do love you. And I'll always need you. And if you ever change your mind, I'll still, I will love you. I wish you'd never left me, but love's a mystery. You can break a heart so easily. Oh, the days and nights reveal how much I feel for you. Time has come for me to see how much your love has meant to me. And I'll always love you. And if you ever change your mind, I'll still, I will love you. Time like a river keeps on rolling right on by. Nothing left for me to do, so I watch the river rise. And I'll always love you. Deep inside this heart of mine, I do love you. And I'll always need you. And if you ever change your mind, I'll still, I will. And I'll still, I will love you. Love of my life, you've hurt me. You've broken my heart, and now you leave me. Love of my life, can't you see? Bring it back, bring it back. Don't take it away from me, because you don't know what it means to me. Love of my life, don't leave me. You've taken my love, you now desert me. Love of my life, can't you see? Bring it back, bring it back. Don't take it away.
Davis left wide open, goes inside! On a rim pressure! Davis left wide open, goes inside! On a rim pressure!
When you're shooting a basketball, 4 shooters are really for anyone. So you can kind of see how it's affecting Tony Parker.
J.R. Smith! We just saw men fly!
Affecting Tony Parker.
J.R. Smith! We just saw men fly! Right 'em, Cowboy! What a play!
J.R. Smith, with the time running down, just took flight off George Hill. Took it in the chest, went up a couple more feet with the finish here.
From a music standpoint, I want to know, you were one of the first gentlemen to actually hear what Kanye West is working on with his Donda project, with his Donda project.
This place will go absolutely crazy if he can get up over here.
Miami is only led by 2 early in the game. Wade, James for the lead.
Talk about pandemonium here in Miami. LeBron James putting the heat up by 3. Shot clock running down. Knocking down the long 3. And then the reaction from his mate, Dwayne Wade. This is the time now for the Miami Heat.
James over Pierce. That might be the dagger. Is right there. And West.
It was something you necessarily, but still.
By LeBron James. One devastating turnover for Boston after another. 14-0 run. A team that couldn't close is going to close 2 consecutive.
Still.
And West.
It was something you necessarily, but still.
And West.
It was something you necessarily, but still.
By LeBron James. One devastating turnover for Boston after another. 14-0 run. A team that couldn't close is going to close 2 consecutive games. That's an offensive foul.
Offensive foul on Delonte West, just going into the chest of Dwayne Wade. You talk about a crowd being on the edge of its seats. And this all started with James Jones with the Celtics up by 5. The 3:43 knocking down that 3 to bring it to within 2. And it's been all Miami Heat since.
We can run down the clock here to about 4 seconds or so. LeBron has scored the last 8 points, grabbing this game by the throat. James with 31, Wade with 34. Bosh with 14 against Pierce. LeBron. Miami is going to close it out It's over.
Chase.
No way. Don't matter. Don't matter.
Paul, yo. Right.
Game 2 of the NBA Finals hanging in the balance.
Buckle up, here we go. Bryant looks inside, finds Gasol. Gasol, count it, and a foul.
The Los Angeles Lakers are 2 wins from a 15th NBA title.
Come on now, boy. Come on. We did that. Perfect. You and I were in line the whole time. So now you don't know what to do. You're not behind me. You're not in front of me. You're right there parallel with me. So now when he came, that was a quick shovel pass to you. The whole defense is cocked towards me and Pop. So he and I are in constant dialogue of what we see, adjustments that we can make on the fly. And we've been kind of trying to time that up the right way the whole game. And it just didn't work out for us, and at the right time it did. If we can time that up and be right in line with each other on those.
Arena's 4 for from the stripe here in the 4th quarter. Now will the Wizards foul down the floor, and it's a deflection by Ruffin. And the play continues. Peterson got it! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! Is it good if it goes? We got to check it out. If it's good, continues. Peterson got it! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! Is it good if it goes? We got to check it out. If it's good, we're going into overtime and a Hail Mary 3 by Mo Pete.
Some pressure here. And now the big thing is make sure you do not foul anybody here on the dribble.
It's going to be changed.
Sure, here it is. See, it's under
3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. Good night.
Anybody here on the dribble.
It's going to be changed.
Sure, here it is. See, it's under
3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. Good night, Cleveland. That is for you. I keep an eye on this now. Now, once LeBron comes up on that left side, watch how he changes in the air and gets it off the glass.
In plenty of time.
Now, that was some play. He hasn't taken any off-balance shot. Now, as he goes up in the air, he banks the ball and plays it right off the glass.
Another moment indelibly etched in time. Another moment indelibly etched. Some pressure. It's going to be James.
Sure, here it is. See, it's under
3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater.
Oh,
3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. Good night, Cleveland.
On the dribble.
It's going to be James.
Sure, here it is. See, it's under
3 seconds to go. Throws up the floater. Good.
Master Blaster has everyone up now. That was so quick, you barely saw it.
That was the shortest alley-oop pass you'd ever want to see.
They are still paying homage to JR for his antics.
I think eventually that's what he wants to do. I think eventually that's what he wants to do. Oh, beautiful pass. The two former Knicks connect, Shumpert and J.R. Smith. And Smith enjoying every second of his return to the Garden.
JR's had a couple of stupendous stuffs. None better than this one, though, going baseline. And this has got to be the Master Blaster, the reverse.
Don't say a word. Just let your inhibitions run wild. The secret is about to unfold. Upstairs before the night's too old. And tonight it's gonna be alright. 'Cause I love you, baby. Nobody's gonna stop us now. J'ai peu peur. Qu'est-ce qu'il va devenir?
He was the #1 pick in the 1996 NBA draft. A 6-foot guard out of Georgia. Number 3, put a lookout for Allen Iverson.
Raw lightning. Wait till you see him play. Iverson hungry for the goal. There he goes, looking for the slam, and count it. It's going to be the first 2 points of the career of Allen Iverson.
You're throwing stones, throwing stones, throwing stones. Ooh, it's a funny game. Don't be mean. It's all the same. Can't think what I've
Oh, wow. Oh, really? Oh, no. Hey, 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 hey. Oh,
Sabalos slashes and Barkley steps back. He will shoot the three. You have to be aware of him stepping back quickly and taking a quick three-point shot.
And now Portland dropping back. They're not going to guard. Oliver Miller on inbounds. Baseline Sabalos. Barkley puts it up. Does it count? It does.
Jake O'Donnell said it counted.
Jake O'Donnell said it's good.
Oh my goodness.
I've been getting followed by this police officer. He hasn't put his lights on. He's a sheriff. I don't know what he's doing. I just pulled over at IGA, and he still haven't got out. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know. I'm gonna just see his, look, now he's trying to lie at me. I guess I have.
What's happening?
Quarantine the vaccinated. Let's lock them up into COVID camps. You're vaccinated, you need to be locked up for 2 months.
Because you are infecting
Honestly,
the unvaccinated.
I'm serious. Let's lock up the vaccinated into COVID camps for 2 months. You unvaccinated, you go into camp. You stay in the camp for 2 months until you stop emitting the virus.
Does that sound shocking to you? Because that's what they're proposing for the unvaccinated.
They're building the camps. Let's put them in it. I mean, let's not let the camps go unused. Let's put the vaccinated into camps. I would love to have that job.
Again, this is what they've been advocating for the
quarantine.
Never done that. I've never done that. This is a list of all the council people's homes that are voting on the vaccine mandate.
And now I don't understand what I'm going through. There must be a plan that led me to you. Because the hurt just disappears in every moment that you are near. Yeah.
That's just me, a V.I.G. Competition was forever since 13. Used to steal clothes, I was considered a thief. Until I started hustling on Fulton Street. Making loot, knocking boots on the regular. Pass the microphone, I'm the perfect competitor. Jewels and all that, the clothes is all that. Couple seconds to me, that's where you took your fall at. V.I.G. got my brother. I stay close to mine, like Tina Montana. Pick the smother, the coke motherfucker undercover. First of all, I'm above ya, and I love ya. Cause you're a sweet bitch, a crazy rap, you might make my dick itch. I'm so used to the new you get used to me, I keep me the ball. Trooper like ice cream, I scoop ya. My music is wanna get loose to stay dip, and I'm not a booster. So what you got to say? It's back and where it's born. It's over to assumption, I got it going on. I'm not conceited. That's just me. That's just me. Take a little Hennessy, smoke a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. Live and action guaranteed for all you dumbass niggas. Grab your dick if you love hip-hop. Rub your titties if you love Big Papa. Gotcha. Open up the words I say because now who smoke more blunts? Check it out. You wanna sit more on my living room floor? Play Nintendo with Seasonino. Pick up my phone, say Papa not home. Sex all night, mad head in the moon. Spin my V, smoke all my weed. Tattoo on TT saying B.I.G. Now check it. You wanna be my man squeeze, baby? Don't you? You wanna give me what I need, baby? Won't you? Picture life as my wife. Just think. Full left, make fat X and O links. Bracelets to match. Conversation was all that. Showed you the safe combinations and all that. Guess you can say you's the one I trusted. Who would ever think that you would spread like mustard? Shit got hot. You sent feds to my spot. Took me to court, tried to take all I got. Another intricate plot. The bitch said I raped her. Damn, why she wanna stick me for my paper? My Moschino hole, my Versace hottie. Come to find out, you was fucking everybody. You knew about me, the fake ID. Cases in Virginia, body in DC. Whoa, always me, that's what I get for tricking. Came out on bail, commenced to ass kicking. Licking the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Disrespect my clique, my shit's imperial. Fuck around and made a milk box material. You feel me? Sucking dick, running your lips cause of you. I'm on some real fuck a bitch shit. I know you're
in the pussy of a bitch 6 feet. Stiff dicks feel sweet in this little petite. Young bitch from the street, guaranteed to stay down. Used to bring work out of town on Greyhound. Now I'm
How you guys doing today? Nice to see you. My next guest on my show is Bruno. Yay. Bruno, it says right here, you're the world's youngest Elvis impersonator. And you've been seen on NBC's Inside Report, CBS's Small Talk, and CNN's World News. He's taking Waikiki by storm and the world. I mean, that's got to be pretty, you know, pretty overwhelming for just a guy that's only 6. Right? So, do you have a girlfriend?
Maybe not.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so do you have, like, what do your friends think of you and stuff? I mean, for being such a young guy.
I said that I started when I was 2 years old. They didn't believe me.
So you've been doing it for 4 years?
2.
2 years. Oh, okay, sorry. No. Okay, go on, sorry. You're the youngest Elvis impersonator?
Yeah, some people say another guy is...
Yeah, but who is this guy? What's his name?
Paul.
If you're out there, Paul, you're nothing. I get the real guy right here. All right, so just take those sideburns off, throw out that Cadillac, and give Bruno back Priscilla, man. Give Bruno back Priscilla. Do you go out with Priscilla? Like a little Priscilla?
Well, I call her in the night.
Bruno, why Elvis? Why not Axl Rose? Why not, Milli Vanilli, Guns N' Roses, Madonna? Why'd you pick Elvis?
Because Elvis was the first one.
How you guys doing? Excuse me?
Elvis was the
chicken, thinking I'm pressed to get it. Rather lose a killing than a stick up jokes. Rather count a million while you eat my pussy. Push me to the limit, get my feelings in it. Get me open while I'm coming down your throat. You wanna be my main squeeze, nigga? nigga? Don't you? You wanna lick between my knees, nigga? Don't you wanna see me whipping your 3 down the Ave? Blow up spots for bitches because I'm mad. Break up affairs, lick shots in the air. You get vexed and start swinging everywhere. Me shifty, now you wanna pistol whip me. Pull out your 9 while I cock on mine. Now what, nigga? I ain't got time for this, so what, nigga? I'm not trying to hear that shit. Now you wanna buy me diamonds and Armani suits, Age of Venedini and Chanel 9 boots. Things that make up for all the games and the lies. Homework cards saying I apologize. Is you with me? How could you ever deceive me? The payback's a bitch, motherfucker, believe me. Nah, I ain't gay, this ain't no lesbo flow. Just a little something to let you motherfuckers know.
Yeah. What up? This is Dr. Dre. The party's going on. Thank God it's Friday. Keep the heads ringing. Keep the heads ringing. That's right. And work your body down. Yeah. No time to funk around, cause we gon' funk you right on up. So get up, get a move on, and get your groove on. It's the DRE.
Mother of a bitch. Mother of dog, go pedigree.
Holy shit. Low connector now. Even lower.
Wear leash. Mother dog! Okay, go pedigree. Mother of a bitch. Mother of dog, go pedigree.
Holy shit. Low connector now. Even lower.
Wear leash. Mother dog! Oh no, dude.
No.
easier for you to talk to a woman?
I kind of do want to talk to him because he has been in contact with with Travis's family a lot.
Okay.
I don't know if that would make any difference, but I know that he already talks to them on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I'm sure that, you know, he has a somewhat of a relationship with them. So I'll go see if he's...
Yeah, I'm not trying to stall or anything, but I've got to go to the bathroom again. Can we go?
Yeah.
Hey.
Rachel called me and told me that you wanted to talk to me. Are you doing okay?
It doesn't matter how I'm doing.
It does to me.
Thank you, but it doesn't matter. What matters is how his family is doing.
I told you yesterday I've been doing this for a long time, and you're absolutely right. You know, the person's family who was hurt, they're obviously hurting. But there's a second family that hurts as well. And in this case, it's your family.
The objective of good cop, bad cop seems to have worked. A higher level of trust and rapport seems to now be established. Jody pours out her emotion as the detective offers a sympathetic and understanding tone. But then something very interesting happens. Once she composes herself, she for some reason requests to see the photos of Travis. Not before, but after he was murdered. Many could think she is attempting to gain some sort of depraved satisfaction from seeing them. Yet going off how the rest of this interrogation plays out, it's more likely that she is trying to gather information, or at least confirm something in the photographs, before she amends her new narrative.
This is more of a selfish reason. I think it might give me some sense of closure. I know it's kind of morbid. I don't even think I really deserve closure.
What is it you want to know about the photos? Do you want to see the room? Do you want to see the bathroom, or do you want to see him, or is it the photos before it happened that you want to see?
I think the photos of after everything.
I won't show you those.
Is there any that you can?
No. I can't do that. We had a difficult time identifying who he was by the time we got there. And he wasn't the same person. So that's why I don't want to show you photos.
The detective attempts to get the dialogue flowing in a subtle manner, yet he's given the silent treatment anytime he poses an incriminating question. Jody knows exactly what she can and can't say with respect to her own preservation. Her internal self is far more calculated than the naive exterior she continuously portrays.
So why were you there that day? Please tell me. Did you just miss him? Should I be looking for somebody else? Was there anybody else with you besides you and Travis? Are you protecting somebody else?
The detective allows for extended periods of silence. Only Jody will know for sure what she was thinking, yet one could safely assume she is desperately constructing her new narrative during these moments.
Trying to just figure it out. I'm just trying to think. What happened to me today and from here on out if I just told you every single detail that I know? And I gave you a confession?
Nothing else changes. It just speeds up the process.
It's all really blurry. It really is blurry. It's all a blur. Can I please see those photos?
Why did you throw the camera in the washing machine? We found blood in the downstairs bathroom where somebody had tried to wash their hands. There's blood on the outside of the washing machine. There's little things that give us clues to what you were doing afterwards. Everybody says he just leaves his doors open when he's home. Trusts everybody.
Have you ever seen the movie The Secret?
I don't think so.
This was the cue for Jody's next series of insufferable rambles. The detective valiantly endures this for the next 31 minutes to lower her guard.
I used to go to sleep at night and I would hear gunshots. We weren't in a bad neighborhood, but our neighborhood neighbored another neighborhood that wasn't that great, and gunshots carried. And they were, because Salinas is agricultural and there were a lot of fields, and I used to think that they were hunters in the fields with their dogs. They were swinging by and pick up Amy, my roommate. And I wasn't there, I don't think. I was at work or something. I've never been endowed. I've never been through the temple, but from what I understand, I think that it's such a sacred place, and meditating there and being there will help to give you further insight about where. There were 3 fears. One was handguns, which is one of the reasons I got a gun. There was a CHP here in town that said he would take me out and go target practicing. And I went to the sporting goods store several times to see what he had, and they were all in the $500 or $600 range for the kind that I wanted. So they were too expensive, but then there was this one, it was cheap.
Jody's dialogue eventually winds up on the subject of Travis, and how Travis was private about the shower. The detective seizes the moment to catch Jody off guard. He subtly poses a highly incriminating question in a jokingly manner.
He was very private about the shower, like we...
Is that why you were taking pictures of him in the shower?
No, no.
She doesn't deny she was there, only that she wasn't taking the pictures for that particular reason. She doesn't refute what is essentially an accusation, only a part of the context within it. This seems to be the moment where Jody realizes the holes in her story are beyond repair. She has to admit she was at least at the scene of the crime, and will now start to scramble her thoughts to garner the most self-preserving storyline.
Trying to get back at him.
No,
What went wrong? Did he say something to you? What did you do? Did you plan on doing that the whole time? I don't believe you planned it. Jody, please.
I can't.
Why not? Did someone catch you there? Someone not expecting you to be there?
They would have seen my car.
Then who was it?
I don't know. Listen, I can tell you. I can tell you everything that I know or that I remember.
Okay. What do you remember?
Is there any way I can see those pictures?
No, not right now.
Can I see them soon? I will. No.
You need to start letting me know what happened.
Okay.
You're telling me that some other people were there.
He was kneeling down in the shower. I don't remember him. If this is his shower and the sink is over here, I was like right here taking pictures. And I don't really know what happened after that exactly, except I think he was shot.
Where were you?
If this is his shower, I'm just sitting here. I was like, well, if this is his shower, I'm sitting here. I was like right here on my knees, and his bathtub is right here, and I was taking him here, and I was just going through the pictures, and I heard this loud ring. And I don't really remember except Travis was screaming. I think I got knocked out, but I don't think it was that long. And there were two people there, and
What'd you say?
I remember putting my hand on his back because he was on all four of his knees. He was like on his knees like this, doing something like this or something like, I don't know. And I was like, are you okay? What's going on? What's going on? He's like, go get help, go get help. And I said, okay. And I turned around, there were two people there. One was a guy and one was a girl. I couldn't tell that at first, but you could just see one was a girl, and I assume the other was a guy because their build, and then their voices. Travis was screaming the whole time. He wasn't screaming like a girl, he was just like he was in pain, like he was like shocked, like, oh, you know.
What happened, Jody? What did you see?
I took it out like a little bitch. I ran. He was still like conscious and still alive, and
But you just left him there.
no, I ran into the closet, and he stopped me, and he didn't touch me. He was just held the gun to my head, and he was like, "You don't go anywhere." And he told the other girl to finish it. I didn't see. He told me to stay there and not to move.
And where was that, in the closet?
No, it was
She describes that the male stopped her from leaving, and then goes into detail about how her phone wasn't charged and how she forgot her phone charger. She then describes how she valiantly tried to save Travis from the female attacker.
She was over him, and I just rushed her and I pushed her.
In the next moment, she will state that the assailant comes back when she never went anywhere to begin with.
I got Travis, and he and she came back. I got him kind of far, like right here. She came back. He was starting to just get weaker and weaker. And this guy came back in. And she said that they needed to do me too, because it was there. And he's like, no, that's not why we're here.
From what you're telling me, she was the aggressive one and he was the more passive.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely aggression as far as, I mean, I don't know what you define aggression by, but like there was definitely a sternness.
So it seemed like they knew him, obviously.
Yeah, but he didn't seem to know them. I mean, he was a little out of it, plus they had masks on anyway, but he didn't express any kind of recognition.
I couldn't talk.
The detective takes her back to the moment she tried to save Travis from the female attacker.
So I wasn't sure, I just knew I had to hold on to her hands because she had a knife.
What hand did she have it in?
She had it in this hand, but well, her right, I guess. So.
All right.
I just said, come on, come on. You know, he was naked, but I didn't care. Just come on. And he's like, I can't. I said, come on. He's like, I can't feel my legs.
Jody had obviously seen a lot of bad movies. Bear in mind, this conversation she had with Travis was supposedly happening as she was simultaneously fighting off a knife-wielding attacker. She glosses over the struggle, and she somehow ends up outside the bathroom. The two assailants are now inside the bathroom, arguing with each other about Jody's fate. She hasn't stated whether Travis is alive or dead at this point.
It wasn't like super yelling, it was kind of like hushed but intense. Like, you need to da-da-da, shut up, it's not over here. things like that.
The male assailant then takes Jody's registration out of her wallet and looks at her address.
He said, if you ever say anything about this, he said they'll do to my family the same way and me. And I didn't care so much about me at that point. He said, you need to leave, and don't you call anybody, and don't you say anything. He's all, I'm giving you one chance. And she said she's gonna rat us off, she's gonna say something, and he was like, shut up. He's like, you get one chance.
Jody then leaves in her car. She of course doesn't mention the fact that she then left Travis a voicemail to give herself an alibi for not being there.
I was really scared. I was really freaked out of my mind.
I don't believe you. I came in here hoping that you would tell me the truth. And this is not the truth, Jody.
This is all I know.
This does not make any sense.
I feel responsible because I feel that I could have done more. I feel that I should have gotten help. I feel that I should have been stronger.
You feel responsible because you did this.
I did not
Jody,
kill
you
Travis.
did. You did.
I did not
Jody,
kill
you
Travis.
did. You did. And there's nothing you can say that'll change my mind at this point. This is an elaborate story which does not make any sense. I've done this for a long time. And this is the most far-fetched story I've ever heard. And it's not going to help you. Is that how you want to leave this?
I just don't want my family to get hurt.
There is a reason why you did this, and you just refused to tell me why. Maybe because you are cold and calculated. There's no reason somebody else would come in and do this to him. There's no motive whatsoever. We haven't found any.
What is my motive?
Jealousy, anger, fear, if you're being alone, angry at him for not keeping you in his life. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to figure it out. There are so many motives with you. Too many.
Jody continues to give random details about the fictional assailants for a further 8 minutes without being asked. The detective then ends the interrogation.
One was male, one was female. They were taller than me. Not by a whole lot.
Are you ready to go back?
Yeah, I guess I'd still like to say something to his family, but I don't think I have anything that could bring them comfort.
Okay.
Maybe I could write them a letter.
Even as the detective is leaving the room, Jody attempts to add further credibility to the new narrative and gives more details of the two attackers.
I could give you the...
Okay. They won't get hurt. You're hurting them right now by not telling me the truth. Okay. They won't get hurt. You're hurting them right now by not telling me the truth. That's what you're doing. Okay?
Detective Blaney comes back with a pen and paper 3 minutes later. She was curious to see what Jody would write to Travis's family. It ended up being a self-serving and whimsical paragraph about how sorry she was that she couldn't save Travis. The family were never given the letter. Jody completely dissects and carefully examines the ham and cheese sandwich before she eats any of it, and as you've probably guessed by now, continues to behave in a rather unusual manner.
Okay, you ready to go?
So, I guess that's really all I needed. Sorry. Don't roll the tape yet.
Why was he a good traveling companion?
Oh, he was a great traveling companion for many reasons. Traveling with Travis was kind of like traveling with your own personal comedian or serenader.
Jody not only stuck with her story about the assassination squad, she doubled down and agreed to every media request that came her way. She also stuck with a soft-spoken, sweet-natured, Jesus-loving character that wouldn't hurt spiders, let alone human beings. But she once again fails to realize this fake disposition doesn't match the situation whatsoever. If you were sitting in a squalid jail, wrongfully accused of murder, and as a result facing life in prison or even the death penalty, you wouldn't be acting like this. She's trying to come across as the innocent girl next door, but she just looks like a terrifying lunatic.
To know that he was stabbed some 27 times and shot once in the left cheek, who could have done this to him?
I don't know.
Who do you think killed him?
I have no idea.
Jody, you're pretty calm sitting here. How are you managing to stay so calm?
Through my faith. And through the knowledge of my own innocence. That's the only thing. I would be shaking in my boots right now if I had to answer to God for such a heinous crime.
Jody Arias killed Travis Alexander. There is no question about it.
This is Jody's defense team, and what you just saw was the very beginning of their opening statement on the first day of her trial. The date is January 2nd, 2013. Exactly 4 years, 6 months, and the date is, and what you
Question killed Travis Alexander. There is no question killed Travis Alexander. There is no question about it.
This is Jody's defense team, and what you just saw was the very beginning of their opening statement on the first day of her trial. The date is January 2nd, 2013. Exactly 4 years, 6 months, and 2 days after Travis was murdered.
The million-dollar question is what would have forced her to do it.
They must have figured the assassination story wouldn't go down well with a jury, especially when confronted with the many steps Jody took to get away with the murder. So the narrative has now changed for a third time, and the defense have to come up with a plausible explanation for Jody's trail of deception. The hole she had dug herself into was exceptionally deep, and her attorneys are now crafting the rope to pull her out.
Jody did not always tell the truth about what happened that night. She was scared. Scared about what had happened and scared about what she had done. She had absolutely no experience with police interrogation before.
You don't say.
And so when they talked to her, she wasn't always truthful. Her fear and her panic about what had happened led her to tell different stories. Throughout this trial, you will learn more about Jody Arias.
Although not everyone in Travis's family were devout Mormons, all of them were close. He in particular had a very strong relationship with his sister Tanisha, and as you can probably tell, a picture can say 1,000 words.
Much more about Jody. You will find that she is an articulate, bright young woman who's a very talented artist and photographer. And so what would have forced her to have to take Travis's life on that awful day? In order to answer that question, we have to go back to the beginning.
The bulk of the defense's opening was to paint Jody as the naive victim and Travis as the calculated villain.
Being a Temple member and an executive director of Prepaid Legal, outward appearances would be very important to Travis. And so while he continued this facade of being a good and virginal Mormon man, he was inwardly dealing with his own sexual issues. And in Jody, he found somebody who was easily manipulated and controlled. Someone who would provide him with that secretive sexual relationship that he needed.
They also mentioned that Travis was violent with Jody on several occasions, that he would fly into these sudden rages for almost no reason, and that Jody was terrified of him. They end their statement with Jody's latest account of how Travis was killed, which is now a case of justifiable self-defense. The attorney gets to the moment Jody was taking pictures of Travis in the shower.
Jody accidentally drops Travis's camera. And as that camera was falling, that was enough for Travis. because he lunged at Jody in anger, knocking her to the ground in the bathroom where there was a struggle. Jody's life was in danger. In just a minute from this picture, we go to the next picture, where it's Travis's body. He's clearly injured already, in a minute. Now that very brief moment of time, a minute, is not the result of premeditation. In that 1 minute, had Jody not been forced to defend herself, none of us would be here. In that 1 minute, had Jody not chosen to defend herself, she would not be here.
This is not a case of whodunit. The person who done it, the person who committed this killing, sits in court today. It's the defendant, Jody Ann Arias. And the person that she done it to is an individual by the name of Travis Victor Alexander, a former boyfriend of hers, an individual that she was in love with, an individual that was a good man, an individual that was one of the greatest blessings in her life. And this love, well, she rewarded that love for Travis Victor Alexander by sticking a knife in his chest. And you know, he was a good man, according to her. And with regard to being a good man, well, she slit his throat as a reward for being a good man. And in terms of these blessings, well, she knocked the blessings out of him by putting a bullet in his head. She took the knife and began to stab him when he was in that defenseless sitting position.
This is very important to take note of. The prosecution just referred to this, the last photograph of Travis alive. Their argument is that Jody either asked him to sit down or at least waited for him to sit down before she began her attack. She knew Travis had to be in a disadvantaged position before she commenced her assault, and the prosecution's argument is that it was at this moment when Travis received a stab wound to the heart. He would have then began to rapidly lose consciousness from that point forward. He attempted to protect himself and escape, but he was soon overwhelmed by his attacker due to the rapid blood loss. The pool of blood outside his bathroom reinforces the argument that his throat was cut after the stabbings, and a coroner's report, which will be revealed in more detail later on, concludes that Travis was in all likelihood shot in the head last. Jody's version, on the other hand, has to be that Travis was shot first. The reason for this will also be explained later on.
And began and stuck the knife in his chest. He struggled. He grabbed the knife. And when he grabbed the knife, of course that resulted in more blood. I pushed the girl who was there, and I was able to get the better of her, and I was about to run out, get out and go get some help. Except that I was then confronted by the guy. This guy started looking through my purse. And lo and behold, in my purse, believe it or not, I happen to have my car registration that shows my address, because that's what I carry around. So they knew, they being this guy, knew exactly where I lived. And he said to me, well, if you tell what happened here, the same thing's going to happen to your family. There's a different story now. Now, it's not that she wasn't there. Now, it's not that it's two people with whatever variation she may have provided to these national shows. Now, she admits it. It was her. She's the person who actually did this. And even though she says that, she still has a view as to the evidence. This is exhibit number 248.
No jury is going to convict me.
Why not?
Because I'm innocent, and you can mark my words on that one. No jury will convict me.
I also ask that you mark her words while you're marking the guilty verdict for her premeditated killing of Travis Alexander.
Jody spent 18 days on the stand. When she knew what questions were coming, and when completely uncontested, she was very much in her element. She was able to respond to the questions instinctively, and her dialogue came out in a confident and natural manner. You could tell she had each and every one of her responses planned to a T, and had considerable faith that her manipulative prowess would ultimately save her.
I don't know why, but they were Spider-Man, and...
At this point in the trial, the defense had already detailed how Travis was physically abusive, sexually overbearing, and a deep-seated pedophile. Jody stated that she caught him on his computer looking at images of children, and that Travis had even asked her to wear Spider-Man underwear during sex. The next segment is Jody's supposed theory as to why Travis had such a request.
I do know, however, that the year prior, there's a child he was close with that really liked Spider-Man. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but he was very much into Spider-Man.
This is the reason why she never left Travis after finding out about his pedophilic urges.
I was under the impression that when he was able to sleep with a woman as opposed to fantasizing about a child, he felt like more normal as a man. So also I had seen prior to this incident many beautiful qualities about him and good qualities about him and things that were attractive about him. And I believed that this incident was a negative part of himself that he didn't want to foster, or that he was fighting or struggling against, and that he ultimately wanted to eradicate.
So just to clarify what she actually said, her understanding and support of nature was the reason she stayed in a relationship with an unashamed pedophile. She kept it a complete secret, hoping he would change, all the while he was being physically and emotionally abusive on a regular basis. She's tearing down his character, but trying to do so in a subtle manner. She gives off the impression that she's holding back on his detraction to preserve some of his reputation, when she's actually trying to destroy it as much as she possibly can. This is Jody's version of events that led up to the killing, in her own words. It's important to note that when you rehearse something in your head repeatedly, it can be as though it actually happened. And as we know, Jody had nothing but time on her hands for the last 4.5 years. The clip will begin at the moment she dropped Travis's camera.
It slipped. It was kind of like, the best I could describe it, like when you go to catch a football but it bounces and you kind of fumble it a little, because it didn't slip and just drop. It slipped and I tried to catch it and it kind of bounced a little and then fell on the ground and bounced and rolled onto the tile. It fell first on the mat, then it rolled right onto the tile. The mat isn't very big, it's just kind of right outside the shower. At that point, he got very angry and he stepped out of the shower. He lifted me up from the crouch position with enough force that my feet came off the ground momentarily, and he body slammed me on the tile. At that point, I rolled and I ran down the hallway. I ran into the closet. I slammed the door. I start running. If you are looking at the diagram, it would be on the left side of the seat. I began running that way with my initial intent to probably run out this door. I instead went for the gun.
According to Jody, a gun was hidden above the shelves in Travis's closet. She had discovered it a month earlier while cleaning.
I grabbed the gun. Right about then, Travis was opening the door. I grabbed it. I ran out into the bathroom. He ran, I believe, straight toward the door as well. At that point, I had run out of the bathroom, and I turned, and I just wanted him to stop, so I pointed the gun at him, hoping that that would just make him halt. And it didn't. Instead, he lunged at me right around the time that the gun went off. And I didn't mean for it to go off.
This is why her version has to be that Travis was shot first. According to her, it was all an accident. There was no intention to actually kill, and Travis's death was the unintended result of his own senseless aggression. So you might be wondering how she can explain the 27 stab wounds and the laceration to his throat.
We fell with a pretty good force down in the corner, near 15, but not quite that close. It was kind of near the sink, kind of, sort of that area. And he fell kind of on top of me, but to my right. I didn't want him to get on top of me. He was grabbing at my clothes. He was trying to get on top of me. I don't know where the gun went at that point. It was not in my hands anymore. If it got knocked out of my hands or if I dropped it, what. I broke away from him, and the moment I broke away, that's when he threatened my life.
Just to be clear on what Jody is talking about, after she accidentally shot Travis in the head, he wrestled her to the floor, but she then managed to break away, at which point he screamed the words, "I'll fucking kill you, bitch."
I'd have no clear memories after that, at all. Things began to get really foggy after the gun went off.
So there it is, her explanation as to why she slit the throat and continued stabbing the man she had no intention of killing is that she can't remember. The trauma of the situation caused complete memory loss, but she's able to detail how terrified she was right before her recollection goes blank.
It's hard to describe the fear. It was like mortal terror. It really was. When he was trying to get on top of me, I thought he was, and then he threatened my life. I really thought he had intentions to kill me. So I don't remember any specifics of what happened right after that point.
This is her explanation as to why she never called the police once she came to her senses, and also why she went to such lengths in order to cover up her involvement.
I didn't want people to know the kinds of things that were going on in our relationship. I felt that if I told police Travis attacked me, I would have to give explanation as to why he attacked me. And if I gave explanation as to why, I would have to go back through the different incidents that we'd gone through and how those things didn't really begin until after I walked in on him. I believe they were related, and I didn't ever want to go there. So it was all convoluted, and I thought that by saying that would open the door to that, to that, to that. And I didn't want to de-edify him.
So just to abbreviate what she said, it was all to protect Travis's reputation. She asserts that she was so upset by the event that she became suicidal, and would detail 4 different occurrences in which she tried, but ultimately failed to kill herself. The first attempt was intended to be by self-inflicted gunshot, and Jody connects it to the registered gun police found in her bedroom after the arrest.